Hello, welcome back to Empoderate. We're here once again on the couch. How are you, Maria?
Awesome. Because I love summer.
I
Because
love
you know what
summer.
that means?
What does that mean?
You're traveling.
I am traveling.
And I see your summer dress,
I am.
your shoes, you're ready to go.
I know. Look, by the time that this podcast airs, I'll be gone and come back, and I'll have a million other stories.
A lot of stories when you come back, for sure.
Exactly,
We need to see
exactly.
videos of, and all your reels.
Exactly. Well, our very special guest is very, very loves to travel and is what is it called? Is a travel connoisseur, as you say.
Sí, 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 claro que sí.
And has turned those travel
Right.
into a cafe here in downtown Phoenix.
Our two favorite things,
Exactly.
travel and coffee.
Exactly.
This is going to be an awesome episode.
Yes, with no further ado, let's introduce Maria Miranda, who is the owner of Maleta Café. How are
Hi,
you?
good. How's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
So let's tell first the story. Like we went to Alak, right, a few weeks ago, and then we saw you there, and we tasted your cafe. We knew. I mean, you share a little bit about your story, and we just thought she definitely needs to come to
Yeah,
Maleta.
it was very wanderlust that you all stopped by. It was like second week I just opened. But yeah, I've been there. Maleta's been open for about 3 months, approaching or so. June 2nd. Thank you. But Maleta is essentially like a love letter to travel and coffee around the world, seeing how, all cultures celebrate coffee essentially, or how they communally drink it essentially across all parts of the world.
That's awesome. So let's start from the beginning. Where did you grow up? What culture had or your identity and your background had to do with the steps that you took in your traveling and then career?
Yeah, I'm originally from Van Nuys, California. I was born and raised over there. And obviously it's such a, Mexican dense
Yes.
culture. I was, really immersed into being, first gen, what my parents, what their lives were like in Mexico. They're from Jalisco. And I danced ballet folklorico for many years.
You did?
Yes.
Mira.
So I used to dance out there, and then we moved to Phoenix. Story as old as time. It's a lot cheaper out here, at least back then, so we moved out here. And I continued my dance career with various dance groups out here in the Valley. And so I've always been very proud of, being Mexican American. I have dual citizenship. So through my culture, as many of you probably experience in your homes, you drink coffee at all wakes of the day. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I just remember my dad instant Folgers,
Sí, es cierto.
before he would go, do his mechanic work every morning, or café de olla, at night.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of where my coffee journey began, I can't even remember. I feel like since I was 5, my mom was giving me café con leche, It's just kind of like in our blood, It's just like you don't even think about it.
That is so true. Y luego como que siempre invita como una conversación. Like if you were to have coffee, especialmente en las tardecitas, it was about café con pan because la plática, el chisme was going to start.
Sí.
You knew that that's what, coffee. And then early in the morning, you were getting ready to school, getting ready to work. It just had a really intimate connections
Sí,
to your
cuando
day-to-day.
dijiste eso, café con pan, me recuerda un paso en ballet folclórico que a todos los estudiantes les enseñamos. Es café con pan, pan, café con pan.
Oh, los pasos.
Sí, es un paso. Entonces, literalmente siempre tomamos café en el baile o to take a break, So, like I said, coffee is just indebted in my life.
Yeah.
Spanning back now to like later adult life, I had an opportunity to go teach English and Spanish in Taiwan for a few years. And that's where I just like really immersed myself in coffee, just like the way that people drink coffee in Southeastern Asia is so similar still to Mexico and our culture. Just we don't speak the same language, but we drink the same drink, essentially.
That is so amazing. And how was that when you decided I'm gonna go on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
¿Cómo les cayó a tus papás jaliscienses?
Les cayó muy bien, hasta pude traer a mi mamá y a mi hermana y a mi sobrina
Oh,
al
awesome.
país donde vivía, Taiwan. So they got to experience it, and my mom, she'd always say que me recuerda a Atengo, el pueblo de donde crecieron. Los dos, mi mamá y mi papá, son de allí, de Atengo. Entonces, cuando estuvieron allí, dijeron, estamos en casa.
Wow.
They were like, we're just at home. We're like, it's the same thing. Different language, but it's mismas costumbres, todo eso. And I was able, same like anywhere in the world, teachers don't really get paid that much. So I was working at restaurants and cafes as well, which was really neat because I got to experience hospitality in Taiwan. I didn't speak Mandarin, but I knew how to work at restaurants and cafes. So it was really neat to see how they prepare matcha and how they treat coffee, essentially.
Wow. And how long were you in Taiwan?
Close to 3 years.
Okay.
Yes.
And what made you do that first jump into traveling, international, and
Yeah.
what was the first that you were like, wait, the world's really big actually?
Yeah, so if you look at my resume, all I've ever done is work for restaurants and bars and cafes my whole life. That's what I know how to do best, and that's my profession, hospitality industry, and I'm super proud of it. I love working as a dishwasher. I loved working as a manager for McDonald's, and I love still currently working at a restaurant as a server. I think it's one of the most humbling jobs
Yeah,
where you really
absolutely.
can grow people skills and really know how to treat people correctly. But at the end of the day, it's still, you're cleaning, you're doing dirty work. Sometimes, we're literally just clean tables all day. You need a break. And I saw an opportunity to utilize my degree, which is History of Latin America. There's a program called TEFL, TEFL. It's pretty well known. Essentially, you just do a program for 3 months and you can go abroad and teach mostly in Japan or Taiwan is where it's really sought after. But you basically just fly into the country, you work. It's called similar to what you all do here. It's kind of like a charter school, but more, it's called Bushiban in Mandarin. And it's just more of a private school that focuses on just English. So children from ages 5 all the way to teenagers to 18 go to these programs after their normal 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. classes. They're in school from 3 till sometimes 11 p.m., even for the 5-year-olds. So those are my students.
Wow.
And usually you jump around to different age brackets. So I had the little ones up to 12-year-olds, 18, and then grad students, so 25 to 27-year-olds. But they're all just wanting to learn English, essentially. Yeah, just the basics, ABCs, easy peasy stuff. But it was really cool to get that experience.
Wow. And you traveled to a lot of more other countries too as well, right?
Honestly, I mean, now here in the U.S., it's not that easy. I probably won't be traveling anytime soon. It's quite expensive. But
Yeah.
once you're over there, flights are really inexpensive. For example, from Taiwan to Tokyo, it's maybe $45
wow.
round trip, From Taipei to Cairo, where I've been, it was, maybe under 500, under 300, something like that. Australia, same deal. So it's quite, accessible, inexpensive, especially when you're on that Eastern hemisphere. So why not take advantage,
Yeah.
I got to go to, I want to say maybe 21 or 25 countries, I would say. And that's essentially the names of my lattes and my fun drinks on my menu every season, inspired by different cities or countries.
That's awesome. And any particular experience that you would like to relive again in those travel?
I would say I would love to relive Egypt.
Egypt.
I got to spend a couple weeks there. And if you love history, highly recommend. And again, you can fact check me, but I'm pretty sure coffee, its root is from Yemen, in that area of Western Asia, Northern Africa regions. And then from there, that crop was taken to the Americas. But essentially, it's really cool to see where, the oldest part of the world, how they treat coffee, and it's so strong and so luscious, the way you drink it. Every morning when I would wake up, I would get a cup of coffee and get a little date with my coffees. And I pay an homage to that. It's called the Cairo on my menu. It's probably my most popular drink. So every time I build it or make it for my guests, it just kind of, sends me back. Those smells,
so amazing.
right? The
Did you
cardamom.
do that?
Yeah, it really sends me back to that time.
That is so cool. It's like looking at a picture, but instead it's a 3D picture.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're smelling as
The
well.
senses take you back for sure.
And I think it's super cool that you're touching a little bit about how like the coffee gets kind of celebrated in different ways in different cultures. I think in Turkey you drink your coffee and then like the way that like the little residue, like they tell your fortune and stuff, like it tells a lot about you. And I think that that's really, really cool too.
Yeah.
That's true. Is the any recommendations for somebody that is looking at traveling being maybe something they would like to try full time for a while? Are there any specific? I'm like, usualmente una mujer and thinking about traveling in different parts of the world. Sometimes there are different options for them.
Yeah. I would say the best option would definitely look into teaching. It's called the TEFL program. You can find it online. Again, it's like a 3-month course, and it covers you to be able to work abroad. And it also helps if you have a bachelor's degree of any sort. But I tell my friends and stuff, like, don't worry, even if you don't, you still have that opportunity as long as you have like some sort of degree or certification, associates. For example, the country of Taiwan, they have a goal set for their country. By 2030, they want, like, I believe 80 or a big percentage of the population to be fully fluent in English. So a lot of these countries are really like in demand for quickly, rapidly pushing that, that agenda of pushing English on their populations. Because when I was in Japan, nobody spoke English. It's actually very, very difficult.
Still.
Yeah, still to this day, 2026, you would think, it's such a beautiful country, advanced, super, but it was very difficult to maneuver yourself just understanding English, So I was very pleasantly surprised with Taiwan that it's actually the polar opposite. I felt so comfortable with not knowing their language, but that's one place I would recommend. And now there's direct flights to Taipei, which is the capital.
That's right. They just
from
opened them
Phoenix.
last year or 2 years ago, I think.
Last year, yeah. So that would be a cool spot for any
start-
newbie if you want to experience, it's like the hidden gem of Asia, I would say Taiwan is.
And where is your next travel to?
I would say if I'm leaving the country, I'm gonna go to Taiwan. I mean,
You're gonna go
back. I'm a creature of habit, It's just like my second home. So I feel like I've already been back a couple times since I moved back. So I'd have to go there. If I have to pick a new country, I'd have to go explore Mexico, again. I haven't given it too much of time, but I do want to go and explore for example, where my coffee is harvested, which is from Chiapas, Mexico.
Chiapas.
So I use un café chapaneco. And then Puebla has great coffee too. So I would make it kind of like a coffee trip to explore the.
Oh, that would be a neat. That would be a neat trip.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
go, like coffee explorers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just hit different spots.
Be fun.
Colombia
Mexico.
también, with the Colombian
Yes.
coffee.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is your favorite country that has the coffee, or I don't know how to phrase that, but your favorite coffee place country-wise?
I would say probably Jordan had great coffee. The country of Jordan, all that region right there, like Western Asia, and then Northern Africa and Egypt, they had phenomenal coffee. Honestly, I would say, and I keep going back, but yeah, Asia, like Eastern Asia, like Singapore when I was there, Korea, they really provide great roast. But one cool or interesting fact that I saw, like, didn't matter where you were, like, in, Western, Eastern Asia or Australia, everybody loved every roast. Their trace was from South America or Central America. So they, even over there in Korea, they're like celebrating, like, oh, we have like Colombian or, Puerto Rican or other parts of Africa or Mexico. And I was like, well, I might as well just go back to, get closer to the Americas,
Yeah.
if they are really, it's such a sought after commodity, our coffee from our regions, that we are so lucky to have, be part of that culture, that provides like, I would say 51 to 52% of the world's coffee is from the South and Central regions of Americas.
When did you decide that you wanted to take this to the next step? Your love for coffee and that connection that it had, and then traveling and then decide to open your own business?
I would say my dad owned a small restaurant when I was like around 14 in Apache Junction. Don Luis Mexican Grill, shout out.
Really?
Yeah. He had a business out there, small like mom and pop little restaurant. So like I said, restaurants and all that life is all I know. And ever since then, I saw how my dad, who, came to the States in the late 80s from Jalisco, him and my mother, how like he's able to make a living and provide for his family and also chase his dreams of owning a business. I was like, I can do that too one day. And you have to truly like love the hospitality industry, not just, I love visiting cafes and visiting restaurants, and I think this is cute. I think if you need to truly have done the work behind the scenes for other businesses to see really like, it's not this like romanticized cute cafe thing, it's a lot of work. And I think I'm very grateful to my dad to have shown me the behind the scenes early on, how it's really, it's a lot of hard work. And ever since then, I knew I wanted to have something. And I'm like, well, what do I love? I love coffee and matcha. So I finally came to fruition when I moved back to the States about 3 years ago. I kept working at restaurants. I worked for the Chivas Concept Group.
Yeah.
Armando and Nadia, they're amazing couple out here doing great work. Great James Beard nominated chefs. And under
Great
them,
drinks, great tacos.
yes, they're phenomenal. They got Cocinas Chivas in Tempe. But I've learned a lot under working for that group, just how they do things so professionally and so much heart at the end of the day. Like just truly everybody there is where they want to be. And same with Maleta Café is exactly where I want to be, And, after saving and, financially looking at the right places, I came to, ALAC, to the Arizona Latino Arts Cultural Center. And we talked and I saw that they had a space and it worked out, for me to open up at the time I did.
And it's so unique, like la bicicleta con a little, like, and the space, it just fits right there where it's supposed to be among all this culture and like this galleries where you just want to lose yourself, and with a cup of coffee, it's just perfect. It's just really awesome. I think it really truly represents you, especially because of your exposure to so many cultures around the world as well.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Spanish lesson, maleta means suitcase, right? So I'm carrying all the flavors of the world in my little suitcase to Phoenix, So every menu, every season, I'll be updating different countries or different cities, essentially. So people can experience, just close your eyes and pretend you're in Cairo for a little bit, or any other country I feature.
And what is it kind of like to be able to kind of like bring those countries into somebody else's world that's, never traveled, kind of being able to taste what you tasted in a sense?
Yeah, it's actually very inspiring and just keeps me going just because I really love to hear then it's such an invitation to hear where else other people have been to or if they've been there themselves. And just kind of, in these times where, it's really always all these times where it gets, things are difficult and the political climate and all that. But through coffee and these conversations, people I could see just kind of go away for a little bit and just go back to the root cause. It's just the humanity. Like we're all just humans and we just, love to conversate and just get you out of the office for a little bit. I have a lot of people who work there in the area and just want to come enjoy a quick little coffee, but, with a little quick story,
And it's amazing how, obviously coffee, as you mentioned, but, and then traveling also opens up your eyes to a bigger world, and that you find that we are more alike, that we think that we have differences.
Yeah.
You just said that with your parents, right? I'm like, in Taiwan, representa un pueblo en Mexico, en el sur de Mexico, centro de Mexico. It's just incredible how we have more that
overlap
connects us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would just say it's really cool to just and also now learn about other people's cultures or love to see the confirmation of maybe I have Egyptian guests I've come in because they see like, oh, wow, we see you're celebrating the Egyptian flag on your drink. And it's like, let's see what this is about. But it's really cool to see that they approve, for the most part, that they're like, wow, you really did experience that, Or in Tainan, kumquats are rampant out there, these little orange fruits. And then I learned the other day that they're in Missouri and, our own country, they are actually a big fruit. And I've met this gentleman, he's a surgeon out of Missouri. He was visiting, he said in the South, grew up eating kumquats our whole childhood. I was like, I had no idea. I had to go to Taiwan and find out what this fruit was.
You're going to be the UN of coffee.
I know. That's what I tell people. That's good. I like it. I'll take that position. Yeah, for sure.
And so about how many countries do you have on the menu at a time?
2 to 3, give or take. Just because you've all been to my space, but I would say it's about roughly 300 square feet in that little space. So, I have to logistically, plan appropriately. I don't have such a vast plan like a Starbucks, or some big freestanding cafe. So I have to be, very technical and intelligent as to how much I add on my menu at one time. But for now, 2 to 3 seems to work. In the summer, I'll roll out a couple more countries. I love to be very interactive on social media and ask my guests feedback. Like the other day, I made a poll. What countries do you guys want to see featured? Jordan, Mexico, Finland, just random things, Germany. So I also take that into consideration. And then I like to cook within the season. So not all year, strawberries are best, Only certain times of the year strawberries are at the peak flavor. So that also plays a big part in my menu, Have to be very strategic.
It's like your tattoo. Too.
Strawberries, yeah. I know. In homage to my tattoos for the drinks. That'd be funny.
And oh my God, I think I lost my train of thought. But we were talking about, the different flavors that you have and everything. And, how you kind of curate them. What has it been kind of like to start your own business? You've been working for businesses for so long now. It's kind of, in a sense, like your baby type of thing.
Yeah. I've opened a lot of restaurants out here for other restaurateurs. I've worked at bars. I've been a bartender for a lot of that time too. Worked for fast food restaurants, all types of levels of restaurants and catering. So I'm, again, very thankful that I have that background and that skill set because it's giving me a lot of confidence to open up what I've done. So surprisingly, it's been very easy just because it's been like essentially, I have 17 years of hospitality experience. So it's been in the making, 17 years in the making finally for this moment. So it's been great. It's been very rewarding. Just more, I guess the tougher part is, like I said, I still work at another job, but, just more that balancing both responsibilities. But it's been great. I have a great host, the Latino Arts Cultural Center. They've helped out a lot. My team is growing, I have a great team of baristas, Sofia and Andres, who are very passionate as well about what Maleta, the concept is. But yeah, so far so good. Can't complain. Yeah.
Coffee shops have evolved over the last few years. You started seeing different concepts, and especially like certainly women-owned or just small entrepreneurs trying to create their own space and their vision about what that look like. What do you think the future of that industry is like?
Yeah, I really hope it continues to become more diverse, as you're saying, in regards to more diversity in ethnicities and, more women in, higher roles like that. It's funny, yeah, you do mention that because a lot of my favorite cafes are just ran by, not women or just, non-Mexican, or they're just
Locally
white.
owned.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's been, interesting to see, but I'm really glad that I've had the opportunity, and that tenacity to continue on to, build up. And I feel like I'm attracting a lot of entrepreneurs to my cafe.
Yeah.
They see what I'm doing, and I'm very much about, what is it? ¿Cómo se dice? Gatekeeping. Like so they ask me, oh, where'd you get that machine? Or I could see like up and coming new coffee pop-ups. It seems to be like that's the new way of coffee. And I'm more than happy to share. I'll send them directly. I'll DM them right away the link to where I purchased something or who built my like cart, for example. I get questioned that. So I'm like a open book. People say, how much was, your coffee? So they can start realizing how much a lot of these, the overhead, for running a business, how much is coffee, all the product that you're using. And I kind of love sharing those systems that I have for myself with them because they maybe have not worked at restaurants or cafes in the past, but I love to, continue on and share with like the next generations to see, how they could do it their own way.
I love that. We were just talking about that sense of community and the support that they're building towards creating bigger spaces for the next generation, like you're saying. Like they don't have to
struggle as much, I guess.
Yes. You guys help eliminate a lot of barriers for the next ones to come because of the lessons that you have. And that's really awesome that it's happening here in the Valley.
And why is it so kind of important to kind of help somebody else out? Kind of being able to like let them have some light without you, feeling like, oh no, they want to come after me in a sense.
No, I think especially in the food industry, there's actually a lot of community. You might see a lot of like collaborations happening out here. Like, for example, like a great restaurant out here, like Bacanora, they team up with other restaurants to collab, or with like Chris Bianco, for example, Pizzeria Bianco, they collab a lot. So I think just the community out here in Phoenix is already set like that. So I'm just kind of like another part that just wants to share. It's not, obviously we all want to, be successful in our business, but in a community sense, it's like, there's power in numbers. And I think we all have one thing in mind, is just to be local, versus these big companies who are coming into Arizona who have nothing to do with our state, It's more like, let's support locally owned no matter your background, If you're, running things ethically, like I think that's where that circulating economy is super important. And I really love that sense of community because that really is like one of the root causes or root supporters for local economies here.
That's a really good point. I love that. And I see that you brought some articles there where remind you of your travels. What do you have right next to you?
Oh, this bottle was a homemade kombucha from Taiwan. This little kombucha bar in Tainan, essentially. It's all in Mandarin. I don't know if I should pick it up.
And kombucha is an alcoholic drink, right?
No, it's made out of alcohol. It's like base. It has like 0.05% of alcohol, traces left, but it's not necessarily. But yeah, this essentially was this really cool cafe I would go to, and I used to work next to it, so I'd go there a lot. I was like, I'm just gonna take one of the bottles home, essentially, once I drink it. But they had great coffee. I brought this because some of the good coffee I've ever had was from this place. So it's the same logo. And then this I got in Petra, Jordan. Essentially, I was up on the very top part of this point. It made me feel like I was in Arizona.
The red rocks,
right?
The
canyons. It was just like super cool. They had a really nice cafe where I bought this.
Really?
I had a really nice sip of some espresso. And then the pebbles and the rocks that are featured in here are rocks from Jordan. Oh, wow. From that country, from like that landscape. And yeah, I brought this one specifically because I'm probably going to feature something from this country on my next menu. So,
awesome.
Yeah, I had some of the best coffee there. A lot of olive oil and pistachios, So that's one thing there.
And out of all the countries you've traveled to, which has been your favorite? I know that Taiwan is
Oh, I
probably
know,
like
right?
number one,
And two.
but I guess your second favorite or your top three.
Let's see. I would say Egypt would be really cool. Was really neat. It just feels like no other part of the world. It's just like a really old part of the world. You know, you get to see the pyramids, the cuisine, the people. I feel like it was so different to what I've experienced in my life, but that was really cool. And Canada was really interesting. Montreal. You would think it was very much like similar to here. Maybe some parts of it is, but at least we're in Toronto and Quebec was very like, whoa, I feel like I'm in Europe or somewhere so far.
Really?
And some of the best maple syrup, you know. So that would probably be a fun feature for like the fall or something.
Oh, that would be neat.
Maple syrup latte. Yeah.
I know you've been to Canada.
Yeah, they had a
what
really
part?
Banff.
Banff.
It's in Alberta.
Alberta, right? Yeah.
And I had a maple syrup cappuccino, I think, and it was so
Delicious.
and it was snowing. So it was even better because it was warm. It was really good. And I'm not the biggest fan of like maple syrup by itself, but
Yeah,
in the coffee
same.
form, it was delicious.
Oh, with pancakes.
With pancakes, yeah, no.
Right?
Tea.
Yeah. That was
That
good.
with we had that, and then we had the like, I don't know if it's like Alberta thing or like a Canada thing, poutine, which is the
Yeah.
oddest thing. I don't know if you know what poutine.
No, I don't know
It
what it
is French fries, cheese curds, gravy, and then you add like maybe like weenies and stuff. It is kind of
Yeah.
a thing. That was
Son
like,
como los tostitos preparados.
yeah.
Just throw a lot of stuff.
Canadian style.
Canadian
Yeah.
style.
Canadian style. Yeah, that with like the coffee, it actually tasted kind of good, weirdly. But you know, it's just those
Yeah.
weird kind of combinations and stuff.
That's awesome.
Oh, fun.
Very, very cool.
Did you ever get homesick?
I did. Yeah. Not a lot, but I did. And then I did come back like once or twice, but it was during COVID, the height of COVID. So it was quite difficult to travel in and out of that country
Yeah.
during that time. Where most of my years there, I was wearing a face mask for 3 years and many quarantines, mandatory ones, you know. So yeah, during those times I would get kind of homesick, you know, because I could see on the news like, oh, the U.S. is like open and it's like they kind of, you know, just chilling and we're over here, you know, just like thermometer everywhere, you know, it's just a little bit more rigorous over there, you know,
Trying
the
to.
requirements. But
Yeah.
And what has kind of been maybe like a moment in your travels or, you know, like you working over there that I think that like you kind of still carry on to this day?
I would say how intentional people are. So one thing that I've always kind of taken as being important is just measurements. You could go to a cafe and maybe it's not the best drink purely or it's inconsistent just to the fact of lack of measurements. I, you know, have a lot of scales in my cafe on purpose. It's not a pump because that's not intentional. That's just very, you know, kind of sloppy. And the true form to create like a great cup of coffee or matcha comes down to just the decimal number, you know, on a scale over and over. And I train my team to be comfortable and confident in using that. So be very intentional with how you know, measure things. And that was one thing I already kind of carried with myself. But being in Asia, I got to see how important that really is for business, especially how, you know, people have such great experiences. And it just comes down to just being intentional with every recipe and not being, you know, careless or a little lazy just because you get busy, you know. It's like really take your time, and it's okay if, you know, the goal is to be fast, but it's okay if, you know, in regards to producing a good cup of coffee, if you go a little bit
Yes.
slow, but you're being intentional in the way you're making it, you know, like crossing all your T's, dotting all your I's.
To have consistency in the flavor that,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
so then people can keep coming back. Is there, given you all your experience in hospitality, what is your recommendation or rules on tipping?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, you know, I would say tipping for the most part, a lot of restaurants nowadays have adopted a new method, which is a tip pool. A lot of restaurants I've worked for nowadays, that's the methods they use. Essentially is when you tip that server, they actually don't get most of that tip. They're maybe getting a percentage of it. And then the other percentage goes to the crew in the kitchen that are busy preparing your meal. The bartenders, the people bussing your tables, the dishwasher in the back. It depends how their systems are met. So I would just say be considerate as to when you tip. Maybe you had not a great experience with the service, but was your food delicious? Because then they don't get a tip, Or was your drink delicious? Maybe the server had an off day, which, it's not excusable. But I think if you're going to be prepared to go out to eat, you should be prepared to at least tip 18% regardless, is my opinion. 18 is I think the bare minimum regardless. But I too, I'm on the other end. I'm a consumer. So I've also had bad experiences, which is unfortunate. But it's just more, that's why I really recommend going to locally owned restaurants the more, because they really value that, that importance in hospitality. The Chivas Group, they do a great job on that, I would say. And just more locally owned restaurants here in the area, they do such a good job with promoting that. Versus if you go to some really, like Olive Garden or something in a very corporate restaurant, they're not really instilling a lot of those values, because I've worked for those style of restaurants and I did not have a good time. And just from the training, and I was a manager at some of these corporations, and that's just not very like a big importance, or kind of goes under the rug, So that's just maybe my opinion on it.
Yeah.
And how do you how does, your background in hospitality and your personal life kind of go hand in hand, the way that you kind of go on with life?
Yeah, I would say what you get now is what you're going to get if you see me at a restaurant or at my cafe. I'm the same person, 24/7. It's just kind of very, it's obviously, you have the customer service voice everybody has, once in a while. But I think just as I've been in this life for so long, it's just, I really try to just be who I am 24/7, at the cafe, here, restaurants, my home. So it's a little bit more relaxing that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Any advice that you would like to give to somebody starting their own business today?
I would say, have a good savings account before, be intentional, and just be very passionate about your product. I would say, just if you're not very sure about the product you're selling, it could be, erasers, it could be a lemonade, but if you don't love erasers and you're passionate about it, probably don't open a business about that, Same with lemonade, just really love what you're doing. And I think you'll see a great, result from that.
Mm-hmm. What is it? What is the saying? If you love what you do, you won't work a day in your life, right?
Sí,
Because you will enjoy it.
Because you enjoy it so much. And it seems as though you enjoy being the owner of Maleta very, very much. I think that it's just kind of, you reminisce on your travels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been great.
Well, Maria Lupita.
Use
Maria.
my nickname. I love it. Yeah. No, I like it.
Thank you so much for spending this afternoon with us. It's really awesome to get to know more behind what, a business, and a really awesome, just simple day encounter.
Yeah.
We were there for a different purpose, and and we make this connection. So it's really a pleasure, and thank you so much for coming all the way over here, and then spending the time here on Empoderate.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, and we'll see you right back here on Empoderate very soon.